Well, hello and welcome back, and thanks for coming back. Today, downtown Coral Bay, that's where we are. James Henry, if you're watching, we're going to go for a wiggle and a waggle to the rear of Coral Bay Strip, around some of the villas and see what's going on. So bear with me as I remount, and while I do it, you feast your eyes and digest that beautiful, beautiful, spectacular view across the blue Mediterranean Sea. There's something very, very special about this part of the world. There's something spectacular about the sea known as the Mediterranean Sea. There's a true blueness to it, that's for sure. And as everyone understands, Mr. Paul does like that little bit of blue. So here we go. Let's go for a bit of a wiggle and a bit of a waggle in and around the Coral Bay area, because obviously Mr. James is looking for that perfect villa to rent, but of course maybe some other people are as well. So some of these villas are in and around here. If you go hunting on various websites, you are going to find for rent. Now, the first whinge of the video is the road surfaces. Please bear with me, because the road surfaces are absolutely and utterly Sherlock Holmes, and there's no other words to describe them. They are absolutely S-H-I-T. Even though this piece they do appear to have done, but as for all the other roads in and around this area, they're absolutely rubbish. So there you go. All of these villas on the left hand side have got spectacular views straight out across the blue Mediterranean Sea. And if you're wondering where we are in proximity to the Coral Bay Strip, if you were on foot, 10 minutes. Let's put it that way, 10 minutes. And if you're going to go to the Coral Bay Beach, 2 minutes, because it's literally, jump out the back of these villas and you're on it. There you go. So like I say, some of these are to rent. There's no doubt about that. I mean, this one here is to rent. There we go. That one says Villa Mali Cyprus.com if you want to rent that one. There you go. Now, I say to anyone, if perhaps you come across a villa that you fancy renting in downtown Coral Bay, for example, and you're not quite sure where it is, well, you drop us its name and where you think it might be, Coral Bay Peyia or whatever, and we'll go and hunt it down and perhaps even give you a review on it if we're in a very, very good mood. You never know. So here we are. This road's looped round, and we've come back to pretty much where we started. And we'll go left, and we'll continue on our travels, wiggling and waggling around, and see what other mischief we can get ourselves into. And we'll try and avoid the potholes along the way. Anyway, I've just checked over my right shoulder. Alan, you seem to be there. Switch the machine on and let's start walking. Here we go. Get that treadmill going. Caroline, you get your pillow out. In fact, I'd get one for Nigel as well. Otherwise, he's going to be spitting out his big guns. That's for sure. So we've got lots of villas around here are to rent. In fact, most of these villas around here are to rent. There's not much in occupation this time of year, as you may have noticed. So let's go up this drag here, and this drag, should we say, road, will actually take us out right by the Blazing Salads. Well, that's what we call it anyway, and it's right at the end of the Coral Bay Strip. So all of these villas, there we are. She's stealing my English again, even though Marika's not with me. So all of these villas are pretty much to rent. I can promise you that. If you're looking for a villa around here, well, there's plenty to rent. So this is literally to the rear of the Coral Bay Strip, Mr. James Henry. See, there we are, promise you that. Dolce Vita restaurant just over there. So let's go up the strip on a gloomy day on the second week of January, if you're curious to know what time of year it is. And Dawn, Sean, if you're eating your breakfast, 19.5 degrees. That's what the old girl says, but it's 19.5 degrees. But maybe we might have a bit of a shower or two. You never know. Kikos restaurant bar just over there on the right hand side. Chalkies, another bar. You've got the Santa Maria restaurant, fish and chips it specialises in, but it does make anything you want, to be honest. You've got the King's Coral Bay supermarket there, You've got the Zetta's bar, that one's open. You've got the eye cave, repairs mobile phones and cases and all that sort of stuff for mobile phones. The Renegade's restaurant bar does a nice burger, and the Bank of Cyprus if you need a bit of money. So there we go, that's Coral Bay Strip on a chilly day, because it's 19.5 degrees. So that's what we call chilly in downtown Paphos. So we'll go back in, and now we will take the first left. And again, most of the villas that you're going to notice on the screen, left or right, are going to be available for Mr. James Henry or anybody else to rent, and there's an awful lot of them. But like I said, I've said this before on camera, please be careful when you are told that it's only a stone's throw away from the Coral Bay Strip, because, you know, like in the UK, if you've got a property and you're trying to rent it out, you obviously are going to stretch the realms of imagination a little bit. If it's not that close, you might even go as far as tell one or two white lies. So like I say, if you found somewhere you fancy and you're not quite sure where it is, you drop the name of the villa or the development into a comment, and I'll find out exactly where it is, and I will advise you to the best of my ability as to whether I think it's suitable, whether it's within walking distance, you know, that kind of thing, whether you need a hire car, whether it's going to suit your needs. So no charge for that. That's part of our channel. We're trying to be a helpful channel, and we're trying to make everyone's life that little bit easier. So again, as you can see, that's the Cibarco Coral Bay Village there. And you can actually drive straight through the centre of it, which I tell you what, we will. Got a couple of customers in here. There we are. It says private property, but you know, they're not going to stop me. I'm the me from Marika and Me. I'm the one that's publicising you all. You're not going to stop me. There we go. So my customer lives just over here on the left-hand side. He appears to be out because his car's not there, or perhaps someone's stolen it. You never know. Quite a big resort, this. Swimming pool, gymnasium, tennis courts, that kind of thing. And as we come out the bottom, you're going to understand why we took that little diversion, and came through. Because, well, they've put up these barricades now so you can't see it, but because we're going to have a truly spectacular view indeed. So I want to give you that view. So guess what? We'll have a little bit of a dismount, and I'll take you with me. So it keeps me fit as we go. Let's go for a walk along this bit of grass, this bit of pathway, and show you some of the beauty of downtown Coral Bay. Spectacular place, by the way. Here we go. So this is the rear of that resort, and look what is over yonder. Yes, that blue Mediterranean Sea. Quite simply spectacular on a beautiful January afternoon. Bit of greyness in the sky, as you can see. A little bit of movement in the sea, but it's not very windy, if you're wondering, Dave. And of course, Dawn and Sean are wondering what the temperature is. I know I've just told you, but it's around about 19.5 to 20 degrees. So here we are. Let's get back to the pathway. And as you can see, majority of these places here are to rent. There's not that many people who live here all year round anyway. Although it would be a beautiful place to live. So as I say, quite a big resort, and as you can see, all of these little villas on the rear here truly have an absolutely spectacular view across that. Feast your eyes and digest. Downtown Coral Bay, beautiful place to come and visit. Spend a weekend, a week, a fortnight, or perhaps even the rest of your life, because it's a spectacular part of the world. And to be honest, the weather is not normally this good in January, by the way. Normally it's a bit wetter, normally it's a bit more windy, and that normally continues into February, even into early March. But obviously it depends where you're coming from, but if you are coming from the North Hemisphere, the weather is going to take your breath away. This Maggie was only commenting yesterday that she came to Cyprus a while back at this time of year, and the weather was truly spectacular. And it's a hit and miss. You know, one year we have great weather in January, and then the following year it can be a bit chipsy, chopsy, or as Crescevia LaBouffe would say, chopsy mopsy. So they're digging over there, as you can see. They blocked the view, which is why we went for the dismount. So they're obviously going to build some more luxury villas or apartments or bungalows, townhouses, and of course they're going to get a truly spectacular view. So if you're looking for that perfect place, that could be the place for you. You never know. So let's remount and let's continue on our travels in and around the back streets of Coral Bay, if you understand me. So stick with us. Here we go. Let's get back in. Right. Let me get all the legalities going. So we start the engine. We need that bit, obviously, and of course we need to put the seat belts on. Not that necessary in Cyprus, but I do believe seat belts are very, very good things. And in the past, one of them did save my life, that's for sure. So I'll never drive in any car without a seatbelt, and I tell everyone else, get your seatbelt on. Whether you're in the front or the back, get your seatbelt on. So we get a bit of a health and safety channel now. So now we've wiggled round, and this street may seem familiar to you, because this is the one we just went up before, which is going to bring us out by the Renegade. See, Coral Bay's not that big, but there's a lot of villas to rent. So if you're looking for one, you have a look, you find it, choose the one you like, and let us know, and perhaps we'll go and hunt it down and give you a little review, a little mosey on down of it. So there we go. Now let's drive out towards the Sea Caves area on the coastal route, because I'm promising you some great views, and you never know what's going to happen, because we are, as I call it, live. You never know. We might have a car accident or anything. You never know. For those who want the channel to end, I might die a miserable death. Here we go. So we're heading back down towards the Coral Bay beach area, and there's a man in a hurry. He's just overtaken his car because he's got a frappe waiting for him somewhere, obviously. Now, as we come down here, I don't want people to think that I've forgotten about you. Don't forget about anybody. We've got a nice little bungalow coming up, which is even a nice bungalow today, by the way. But you know, if you understand, in the 70s, it must have been something truly exceptional. Most of these properties were not here, so it had a simply pure, unobstructed look out across the Coral Bay beach, across the blue Mediterranean Sea, and it must have been a spectacular place to live, and a spectacular place to come on your holidays as a couple of young men. So if your names were Jeremy and Simon Payne, the famous double trouble twin brothers, if you were coming out on your holidays to Coral Bay in the late 70s, early 80s, I mean, my God, it must have been spectacular. And to see your grandfather and hang out with Arthur, it must have been absolutely wonderful. So I'm very envious, because I remember when I was a young boy who lived in Egypt, that's the villa in question there with the blue wall around it. That's where Double Trouble's grandfather lived, Arthur. That's where he lived, and he used to knock around in an old Mercedes. So he's a little bit like me, an elderly gentleman knocking around in an old Merc, wiggling and waggling around the streets of Coral Bay. So there we are. I'm reenacting Arthur Payne's footsteps, shall we say. So big hello to you, Mr. Jeremy and Mr. Simon. See, I've promoted you back up again, Mr. Jeremy. It was a little joke, but please stop promoting people. Dame Anne was more than happy with being a dame. She understood that to be called Her Majesty Dame Miss Anne was just too much of a mouthful. And she has an entourage, but she doesn't want the entourage that a Her Majesty would require. So there we go. Right, that's a bit of fun and games going on the channel. Where are we? Right in front of us, that's the Coral Bay Beach Hotel and Resort. So many people have been there, but of course our number one was there. Mr. Paul Butler, he stayed there. He had a great holiday. Double Trouble, Jeremy and Simon Payne, they booked themselves in there for a week just before Christmas. I dropped them off and I picked them up, so I know they stayed there. And I bumped into them one afternoon while they were walking along from the Coralia Bay Beach, which is literally to our left hand side behind this nasty concrete wall. That's what's obscuring the view. So this little road now It's the downtown coast road, we're going to call it, that takes us out towards an area known as Sea Caves. A truly spectacular area, spectacular views, and incredible rock formations, cliff faces, shall we say. Again, you know, if you're into that kind of thing, and you're not, well, you're sick and tired of sunbathing, you're sick and tired of eating, perhaps hire a scooter, get a bike, steal someone's car or whatever it is, because it's a bit too far to walk from Coral Bay, that's for sure. And get yourself out of Sea Caves and have a picnic if your name's Mr. Ian. Get in the Rent-A-Wreck, chuck Janet in the back, and get the picnic. Could be a great place, Mr. Ian, for you to sit down and relax, digest and absorb the views, and plan how you're going to fly over from Yorkshire to Paphos and perhaps land in Sea Caves. There's plenty of flat lands out here. There's one on the left hand side, you can land there. They've removed all the orange groves and all the banana groves, and there's no cactuses to catch on your bottom. So here we are, we're en route to Sea Caves, so stick with us. If perhaps you've never seen Sea Caves or you've never been to Sea Caves, again, if you hunt in the search bar Marika and me and put the words Sea Caves on the end, you're going to get a couple of videos of us wandering around, monkeying about, doing silly things as we do. We don't take life too seriously, if you understand. We understand we only have the one life, so we try to have a bit of fun. And we understand some people like to follow us and some people don't, and of course that's your choice. Everyone has a free will and everyone has their opinion, and you're more than welcome to leave your opinion. I have no problem with that, but keep it clean and keep it concise, and I'll pick you up and I'll drop you in our poo-poo box, because what we do is up to us what we do, and if you don't want to watch it, don't watch it. Now, that's the rant over. Here we go. Hopefully it's looking beautiful out there today. Beautiful greenness at this time of year in downtown Paphos area, because of course there's a lot of dew in the night, so all the plants and all the grass get plenty of moisture, and then of course out in the daytime comes the sun again and cooks us. Customer of mine coming up here on the left hand side, got a nice black Porsche. Yeah, his Porsche is in the drive. Customer just over there, he's got a white cash guy stuck in the drive. Yeah, he's still staying there. Some of my customers rent their properties and some of them own their properties, if you understand me. But rapidly now we are producing, she's still on my English again. I'm confusing my English like she confuses her words, rapping and raping. I prefer the raping. Anyway, we're a family channel, so let's keep it clean. Let's keep going. We're going to keep going a bit more, and the road's going to open up, and I promise you, you're going to get some spectacular views, and you're going to get to see a couple of little tavernas. There's a new coffee shop opened. There's the Sea Caves Taverna coming up on our left-hand side very, very shortly, and then you're going to get some open views across the blue Mediterranean Sea, across the Sea Caves area, and it's going to take your breath away, that's for sure, so stick with us. Here we go. So this is the Nature Cafe restaurant that's coming up on our right hand side, and then over here is the Centurio, I can't say it, Sea Caves Taverna we call it, there it is on our left hand side, and it's got a great garden where you can sit and wine and dine, and guess what, the view, well, it's to die for, looking out straight across the blue Mediterranean Sea. Now, this is downtown Sea Caves. This is where we are. If you want to buy a villa around here, if you're curious to know, you're probably going to have to stump up somewhere around 1 million, 2 million, and maybe even a little bit more for some of the more fancy ones. So let's turn into here and let's get to the water's edge, shall we say, and show you a truly spectacular view. And I promise you, if you stick with us, it's going to take your breath away. And we're going to go for a little park up here, and then we're going to go for the dismount. And I promise you, you are going to be in awe. You're going to be very jealous. If your name's Dawn, you're going to be wondering what temperature it is, and of course it's 19.5 degrees. So come on, let's go for a dismount. Let me take you with us as we get down to the water's edge. Well, not the water's edge, but on top of a cliff, and you never know, I might treat you to falling off that edge and diving into that blue Mediterranean Sea. I'd like to say thanks for watching. I'd like to say thanks for joining us if you've joined us. If you haven't, perhaps you would like to, because we've got a very diverse channel. We've got videos of me and Marika wandering around, meeting people, greeting people, laughing and joking, doing some silly things. And you've got videos of me driving around, dismounting and doing silly things. And on top of all of that, we're a very, very friendly channel, and we welcome everyone on board. And if we can help you in any way possibly, we'll do our very, very best to do it. So that's enough from me. That's all for now. We're going to walk around now, and you are going to digest the beauty and the spectacality of the area known as Sea Caves, and it's going to take your breath away. Thanks for watching.